right, everyone. Hi, welcome to Bridging the Gap Engineering and Medicine Backup. This is another one of our webinars for our engineering conference, Engineering Solutions for a Better World. So first up, I'm just going to give a brief introduction to ScienceHolic and who we are as an organization. So we are a youth-run nonprofit, and our aim is to provide free, fun, and accessible STEM resources for all students and teens that are interested. So today we have a very special guest here. It's Joyce. She is our co-founder and current CEO. So hi, Joyce. Would you mind giving a brief introduction of yourself?
Yes. Hi, I'm Joyce. I'm majoring in human bio, health, and society. I'm gonna be a rising sophomore. I'm also minoring in global health. I am in an engineering lab, so that's like mainly what we are gonna talk about.
Gotcha. And yeah, to our attendees, if you happen to have any additional questions come up during the webinar, just put them in the chat and we'll get to them at the Q&A session at the end. So first is some questions about preparation for college. So first up, what pre-med extracurriculars do you recommend for high school students?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely important to first kind of understand what you're interested in medicine, because I feel like medicine is so broad. So I would recommend doing some shadowing if you can, just like through like your local clinics or any connections that you have with doctors, so you know that like medicine is the right fit for you. But also just another part of it, because pre-med is not usually like a major, you should also consider what you want to do in college and prepare for that. So there's obviously a lot of different kinds of pre-meds. There's like the traditional like studying biology or chemistry, and there's also biomedical engineering or other fields that you can also like just take the pre-med sequence and still be in med school. So just kind of like figuring out what you're interested to study for 4 years in like your college years is also very important. So for that, I would recommend like taking like a summer course or attend a summer program so that you could either like eliminate or just be sure of like what you're interested in. So a good example for me is I did like a biomedical engineering summer program, and I know that it's, although like something very interesting, it might not be something that I would consider for just like studying full on for 4 years. However, I do still like want to like be connected with it. So that's why I joined like a biomedical engineering lab. So just like those kind of things to figure out what you're interested in, but also just join like different clubs and extracurriculars that you're interested in, and just like expand in those areas as well.
Got it. Thank you. All right, so next up, what specific courses or activities that are engineering centered do you think that aspiring pre-med students could take? So what sort of engineering skills do you think could be transferred over to medicine?
I feel like biomedical engineering is definitely like a very broad field, or just engineering in general. And I know that there's like a lot of intersections from engineering to medicine. Obviously, like biomedical engineering is like pretty straightforward in terms of like CRISPR technology, gene editing, and stuff like that, and how those can potentially like cure different diseases, and having like I guess a deeper understanding of the human body. But also there's like environmental engineering, and when we think about like medicine, it is like so broad, and like environment can definitely like impact a person's health, and how like maybe like engineering crops or GMO food can impact a person's health. So those are also things that you can explore if you're like interested in environmental side of things. And I'm sure there's like pharmaceutical engineering and chemical engineering where like you kind of discover like drugs or different medicine that can cure different diseases, and those are very important for medicine as well. So in terms of, I guess, courses or activities, I think definitely joining like an engineering lab that you're interested in terms of like their research purpose is very important, or just joining like some clubs. It could be like really anything. There could be like journal review clubs where you just read a bunch of engineering related research papers and just understand more about like a specific thing, or just like very general like engineering and how it relates to medicine, or like clubs like, you know, publishing like engineering related research or articles could be helpful, and just like taking your courses that's required by your major or required by like an engineering minor would be helpful as well.
Hmm. Yeah, that's super helpful. Thank you. All right, so next up, this is sort of specific to your own experience. How did you go about choosing your major and minor?
I feel like I kind of explained this a little bit during like my previous answers to the first question. I feel like it's definitely important to just explore in your high school years and see or like really eliminate what you know, what like what you want to do. And I think a lot of it also comes from like the classes you choose to take. If you like take in like a general biology course, you probably have like some parts of course that you liked more than another. For example, during my high school years, I did not really enjoy the ecology and environmental side of things. Not saying that it's like not important or it's not appealing to another person. It's just there's other things that I guess like had like that I'm more interested in. So I think those really helped me like narrow down the I guess like the area of biology that I want to major at. And another really good way to figure out is through like the extracurricular activities. Um, Obviously, like I think there's like a merit in terms of choosing a activity that you might not be like so um familiar of, and like trying it out and figuring out if you like that activity or not. And a lot of times like you would find it very surprising that like you would be interested in like something that you never thought you would be. So I think that's another thing to consider. And I think the last part would be just like during your junior year when you're kind of researching schools and majors, just reading like what courses is offered for that major and minor, or like what's on the like core curriculum could be very helpful, or like major outcome to understand like what you're really studying. And just from those courses and their descriptions you can see if they're appealing to you or not. And I think when I applied to college, I did not apply like the same major for like all the universities, because I feel like just like a major in one school and another school can be like drastically different. And like their learning outcomes or just like what they're focused on could be very like different. So I think also just reading through those like paragraphs and kind of like gauge your interest, it's pretty easy to to minor down to figure out your major.
Hmm. Got it. Thank you. All right, so next up, our set of questions is sort of more centered around your actual experience within college. So first up, what's college life like and what can one expect in their first semester?
I feel like college can be very different depending on like what high school you went to. Um, since I went to a boarding school, I feel like college, especially the residential life transition, is pretty easy. So I think there's like not a lot of like questions or concerns there. I think definitely academically it's different because my school is like pretty small, so there's a lot of interactions with your teacher and your classmate, but Cornell is like a bigger school, so a lot of and probably like all of the intro level classes are really big, and there's usually like 100 to maybe 700 people taking the exact same course with you. So like building that connection with your professor can definitely be very different. But also I think college is more fun in terms of like more fun in a academic way because you're taking classes that you're interested in. Um, like as you move up like the grade level, you're more like specialized in your major, being like you're not really taking the intro class, you're like doing a more focused class talking about like a specific topic that you are definitely interested in because you're taking something in your major. And I think because of that, like you might have like more motivation to study and just like I guess like the deeper into what you want to do. And I think the first semester is like a lot of transition. I think it's really important to take a less or lighter load to figure out your like study habits since like those can really change from like high school to college. And also I do think that there's definitely more content in a class compared to I guess like high school. One example is like my intro classes, probably like the AP courses is covered in one semester instead of like a whole year. So essentially you're going like twice as fast. Um, so I think those are like just some of my experience.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So next up, what opportunities are available for those who want to work at the intersection of engineering and medicine?
Yeah, I think there's like many different sectors in terms of this. As I talked about before, you can do research that is medicine related, or pharmaceutical engineering, which is also related to medicine and healthcare in general. So doing those research can help us like deeper understand like a problem or a situation and trying to figure out a solution, but also I think there could be opportunity for you to do clinical research as well with like engineering. So I think those are also available for you. And especially as like an undergraduate, I think you definitely have more opportunities in terms of it is very flexible in terms of how you want to incorporate engineering and medicine. So I think those are all like for you to explore, whether it's like joining a lab or um maybe like majoring in biology but doing like environmental engineering and thinking about like another aspect of medicine and how like the environment can impact like the human body as a whole.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay, so next up, what activities do you participate in outside of classes?
Yeah, so I did join like an engineering lab where we do bone research and we kind of like discuss and research about like cell signaling and how um just basically signals from like the bone cell itself and also from other tissues to the bones and how that impact how like the bone function. So that is what my lab is about. Other things I do on campus, I am going to be a teaching assistant for a class that freshmen have to take. And I'm in clubs that's like related to pre-med, as well as like volunteering in like hospitals, as well as like trying to like shadow different doctors, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any like specific activities that you focus on like during your summers when you're not at college?
Yeah, so I'm definitely trying to do different things every summer, but I did EMT on an ambulance this summer and as well as shadowing a plastic surgeon. Next summer I want to try something different in terms of like doing more of like global health research potentially. So every summer is different, and it is still like very important to like try different things and um like throughout your college years, so like you further figure out what you want to do like in medicine. I think that's also very important.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, so that wraps up our previous questions. So now to our attendees, if you happen to have any further questions that you'd like to ask Joyce, please feel free to leave them in the chat right now. So yeah, we can take a few minutes to go on that. Um, And yeah, and if you don't have a question right now, but you know, how to have one later on, you can always just reach out to us at ScienceHolic. And I'll provide you guys with the email later on. So yeah, you can reach out to us there. But yeah, so right now it seems like we don't have a ton of questions, so I think we could just wrap things up right now. So yeah, since right now you're attending the webinars for our engineering conference, but alongside the webinars for this project, we have also been working on our magazine. So the first issue of the engineering edition is out right now on our website. And you can access that at www.scienceholic.org. And you can also follow us on Instagram at ScienceHolic Official for more content and posts that's all STEM resources. And yeah, again, there's our email, scienceholicmagazine@gmail.com. And if you want to work with us here at ScienceHolic, there's a lot of ways that you can do so. So we have a lot of different branches, including content, editing, art, and I am part of the outreach team. And there's also social media and our new AP Toolbox program. And being an ambassador is also a more low commitment way that you could help us out. And there's additional information for all of that on our website. And yeah, furthermore, you can also submit any of your writing or art for our blog through our website or our email. Any of that is fine. And yeah, if you join our mailing list, then you'll get all of our updates for magazines, webinars, etc. Yeah, here's a shout out to all of our partnering organizations that help to make the engineering conference possible. Yeah, that wraps up the webinar for today. Thank you all for tuning in. If you are interested in more engineering content, please tune in at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow for our webinar titled Engineering Innovations Shaping the Future of Medicine. Yeah, thank you all for attending for today. Have a good one.